Continue the chapter laws of motion, in which we were studying about inertia. We have seen the inertia of rest and inertia of motion. In inertia of rest, if a body is in rest, then it will remain in rest unless until no any external force applied. And for in inertia of motion, if a body is in motion, if a body is in uniform motion in a straight line, then it will remain in uniform motion in a straight line unless no any external force is applied. Now we talk about inertia of direction. Inertia of direction. Inertia of direction. The inability of body to change itself. The inability of the body to change itself. The inability of the body to change itself the direction of motion. The inability of the body to change by itself its direction of motion. Its direction of motion is called inertia of direction. The inability of a body to change by itself its direction of motion is called inertia of direction. As for example, when a bus takes a sharp turn, then person sitting in the bus, then the person sitting in the bus experiences, when a bus takes a sharp turn, then the passenger sitting in the bus experiences a force acting, away from the center of the curved path. When a bus takes a sharp turn, then the passenger sitting in the bus experiences a force acting away from the center of the curved track. So this is about inertia of direction, the inability of a body to change by itself its direction of motion. It's called inertia of direction. And the example, when a bus takes a sharp turn, then passenger on it experiences a force acting away from the center of the curved track. Now the next topic to discuss, linear momentum. Linear momentum. So firstly we discuss about its concept. What is the concept of linear momentum? Suppose there is a table and there is a glass pan placed on the table. Glass pan placed on the table, and from a height edge, when a stone, a small stone having less mass, when a small stone is dropped on the pan, when a small stone dropped on the glass pan from a small height, then it doesn't break the glass pan. It doesn't break the glass pan. When a small stone dropped from the less height or from the small height on the glass pan, then the glass pan doesn't break. There is a table and there is a glass pan placed on the table, and from a small height a small stone is dropped, then the glass pan remains unaffected. But when a heavy stone is dropped from the same height, when a heavy stone is dropped from the same height, means heavy stone means a stone of large mass. But when a heavy stone is dropped from the same height, then glass pan breaks. So we have seen an example that there is a table and a glass pan is placed on a table, and when a small stone is dropped from a small height on the glass pan, the glass pan doesn't affect it. It remains unaffected. It doesn't break. But from the same height, if we drop a heavy stone, then glass pan breaks. So glass pan gets affected. Similarly, when a bullet is fired from a gun, then the large force is required to stop the bullet. When a bullet is fired from the gun, similarly, when a bullet is fired from a gun, then large force is required. When a bullet is fired from a gun, then large force or greater effect is required to stop. Large force is required to stop the bullet. When a bullet is fired from a gun, then large force is required to stop the bullet. But when the bullet of same mass is thrown by hand, but when the bullet of same mass is thrown by the hand, then less force is required to stop the bullet. Less force is required to stop the bullet. So now let us study the 4 different cases. This was the first case, this is the second case, this is the third case, and this is the fourth case. When a small stone is dropped from a small height, then in the first case the glass pan remains unaffected, and in the second case when a large stone, means having more mass, is dropped, then glass pan gets break. So here the influence of mass, here the effect produced due to the mass, here the effect produced due to the mass. Because height of both the stones are same, so glass pan breaks due to the heavier mass, due to the more mass. And in this case, in both the cases, here the effect produced due to the velocity. In both these cases, the effect is produced due to the velocity. In the first case, the bullet has large velocity when it is fired from the gun, and in the second case, the bullet has less velocity when it is thrown by the hand. So here there is effect of velocity. So both have different effects. Mass has also influenced and velocity also influence. Both have the different effects. So momentum is defined as the product of mass and velocity. Momentum is defined as the product of mass and velocity, because mass have different influence and velocity has also different influence. If mass is large, mass is greater, then its influence will be more. Similarly, if the velocity is more, then its influence will be more. So effect of motion of a body depends both on its mass and velocity. The effect of motion of a body depends. Thus we conclude that the effect of motion of a body depends on both mass and velocity. The effect of motion of a body depends on both mass and velocity. Now comes to our point about linear momentum. Just we have seen that the effect of motion of a body depends on both mass as well as velocity. So the product of mass and velocity, the product of mass and velocity is called its linear momentum. It's called its linear momentum. So linear momentum is defined as the product of mass and velocity. It is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Linear momentum is a vector quantity and it is represented by P. It is represented by vector P. So vector P is equals to m into v. Linear momentum is equals to product of mass and velocity, and its direction is same as the direction of the velocity of the body. The direction of linear momentum, the direction of linear momentum is same as the direction of velocity of the body. Direction of linear momentum is same as the direction of velocity of the body. So this is represented in vector and in magnitude. We do not use the vector sign. In magnitude, simply we represent momentum P equals to m into v. So we have seen that the product of mass and velocity is called the linear momentum of a body, and it is a vector quantity and it is represented by P, and P vector equals to m into v vector. And direction of linear momentum is same as the direction of velocity of the body. Its unit is SI, unit of momentum. The unit of mass is kg and the unit of velocity is meter per second. So SI, unit of linear momentum, is kg meter per second, and its dimension is, the dimension of mass is m and the dimension of velocity is L e raised to the power minus 1. So the dimension of linear momentum is m L e raised to the power minus 1. Now we discuss variation of momentum when two bodies have equal and different masses. Variation of momentum. We talk about variation of momentum, and let us discuss case number 1. Let two bodies, each of mass m, let two objects, each of mass m, having same mass. Suppose there are two objects, each having mass m, and the two objects are moving. Two objects, each of mass m, and they are moving with a velocity v1 and v2. They are moving with a velocity v1 and v2, where v1 is greater than velocity v2. Its velocity of first mass is greater than the velocity of second mass. So the momentum of first mass, momentum of first object, momentum of first object, P1 equals to m into v1, because velocity is v1, mass is m, and momentum of second object. Momentum of second object, that is p2 equals to m into v2. This is second number equation. Now divide first by second. So p1 by p2 is equals to m into v1 and m into v2. So m and m gets cancelled and we get p1 by p2 equals to v1 by v2. And since we have taken v1 is greater than v2, so if v1 is greater than v2, this implies p1 is greater than v2. So since the velocity of first body is greater than the velocity of the second body, v1 is greater than v2. v1 is the velocity of first body and v2 is the velocity of second body. So v1 is greater than v2. Therefore p1 must be greater than p2. It means the momentum of first body is greater than the momentum of second body. Momentum of first body is greater than the momentum of second body. Means here the momentum depends on the velocity of the body. The momentum depends on the velocity of the body. It means if two bodies having same masses, so linear momentum of bodies having equal masses, linear momentum of bodies having equal masses are proportional to linear momentum of bodies having equal masses are proportional to velocity of the body. Proportional to velocity of the body. If the velocity is more, its linear momentum will be more, and if the velocity will be less, the linear momentum will be less, and its graph is on x-axis we put velocity and on y-axis we take momentum. So its graph is a straight line. Here m is constant. As the velocity increases, the momentum also increases. As the velocity of a body increases, the momentum of the body increases, but mass remains constant. So we conclude that if there are two bodies having equal masses but their velocities are different, velocity of first body v1 is greater than the velocity of the second body v2, then the momentum of the first body is greater than the momentum of the second body. Means linear momentum of the bodies having equal masses are proportional to the velocity of the bodies. Now we discuss case number 2. Case 2. Let m1 be the mass of heavier body. There are two bodies, heavier and lighter. m1 be the mass of heavier body and m2 be the mass of lighter body. m1 is the mass of heavier body, m2 is the mass of lighter body, and both the objects are moving with same velocity. And let both the body are moving with the same velocity. So we have assumed that m1 is the mass of heavier body, m2 is the mass of lighter body, and both the bodies are moving with the same velocity v. Both the bodies are moving with the same velocity v. So the linear momentum of the first body m1 into v and linear momentum of the second body p2 equals to m2 into v. Because velocity is same, then p1 by p2 equals to m1 into v upon m2 upon v. So it gets m1 by m2, and since m1 is greater than m2, this implies p1 must be greater than p2. So here the momentum depends on the mass because velocity is constant. So when the velocity is constant, then momentum depends on mass. The momentum of greater mass will be greater and the momentum of lighter mass will be less. And its graph, velocity is represented on x-axis, momentum on y-axis. Velocity is constant, m. Mass is represented on x-axis and momentum is represented on y-axis, and here velocity is constant. So greater mass have greater linear momentum. Greater mass have greater linear momentum, and momentum having the less mass is less. Greater mass has greater momentum, and the momentum of a body having less mass is less. So linear momentum of a body having equal velocities. So linear momentum of bodies having equal velocities are proportional to the mass of body. So we observe that linear momentum of a body depends on both mass of the body as well as velocity of the body.